How does your thinking grow? I know it sounds silly, but your thinking grows in one way or another. How do you think is what I'm asking. Have you ever figured that out? What type of thinker you are? There's a number of different types of thinkers. There's a number of different types of how it is that you handle things when you first hear them. Number one is this. Are you that logic person? Are you that logical individual that has to have all of the science, all of this information, all of the technical type things? Do you have to understand how it is that you put all of these things together? You know, if you do, that is wonderful. But you are going to need more than that to be able to solve the problems that come to you, to be able to expand your business, to be able to get along with your spouse, your children, your friends, and all of that. So, one of the things that I think is very important and that I do and has helped me to be successful in the areas in which I'm successful in is to get other inputs and to learn to think in different ways. The brain is made up so that it loops through all of these different thinking processes. So you don't just have one static way of thinking. You say, I'm this is how I do everything. No, it's not. Your brain is designed so that every second, about every 1 to 2 seconds, your brain goes through at least 8 loops. It goes through those loops and different ideas, different things come forth. You may be very artistic, and so you may be thinking in that manner. You may be an emotional thinker, and so you think that everything you do is emotional. Not so. It may be that here it is. My emotions guide my intelligence. My emotions do that. But you also have logic. You also logicalize some of the things. That's another one of my words. So, look it up in my dictionary. You won't find it in Webster. Okay. You also logicalize things. How do I know that? Well, if you're a psalmist, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, if you're a mother, if you're a father, if you're whatever it is that you are, you have emotions. I did a video, I think it was on Monday, YouTube on Monday, that talked about this. You do your emotions. And how you do your emotions may depend upon the information, the science, the information that you've gotten in your logical self. Are you tracking with me here? So you'll be able to realize all of these things are important. Here I am. Here it is. Let's just say that I'm one of these people that is just totally optimistic. Everything, I know that all of it could work. Everything could work. You don't even look, but sometimes people don't even look for the problems that are going to be in this optimism. And so there it is, oh yeah, you just buy this and this is what's going to happen. I know it'll happen this time. I know. It's also a part of the sanguine in this. In the logic, in your temperament part, that is the melancholy. That melancholy person is very logical. Also, the phlegmatic is similar, but the emotional person, the emotional side, that would go for that person that is a sanguine or partially a sanguine and a supine. All of these things are a part of it. I did a thing many years ago on the temperament. And there's other doctors, other people on that do things on the temperament. This is based on the APS, the Arno profile system. And what it is that there's 5 temperaments. So I'm talking about the different ways in which your brain, in which you're designed, and how it is that you loop. I want you to know as much about you as you possibly can. The more you know about you and how you internalize, how you release, how you are wired is important for you, because there's gifts on the inside of you. There's abilities on the inside of you. There's all of these things that are on the inside of you. And don't you think it would be really great if you knew how your thinking grows, whether it grows to the dark side, whether it grows to the light side, how it is that you are operating with the neurons and and the dendrites and all of the different parts of your brain, how it is that your hypothalamus, and how it is that the frontal lobe and the right brain, left brain, how it is that it works together, because it all works together. None of them are isolated. And when you start to realize that, and you realize something, then why did people tell me that I think one way or the other? It is for control. Control. It is for manipulation. It is brainwashing. If I can get you to think that you don't have the capabilities or the abilities to use everything that God has planted on the inside of you, then you will need me to take care of you in another manner. This is not conducive to your growth. It's not conducive to your business, your family, or anything. Do we need each other? Yes, we're interlocked. But your gift, your purpose, I need it. This purpose, I need it. That one someone else needs. This one someone else needs. You can add value with the value and the way that you are designed. So when you find that out, when you find out how your brain grows, when you find out how your mind grows, how your thinking grows, then what happens is this: then you are able to be a solid person in the marketplace. You are able to put in solid things. You're able to bring out the wiseness of who it is that you are. In other words, you express yourself in ways that no one else expresses themselves. That's what the uniqueness of you are. Okay, here's another way of thinking. The judgment. Here is, you judge everything and you look and you say, well, this won't work. This won't work. They call this negative. They call this all of these different things. But what are you doing? You're actually looking. This is very valuable. This is so valuable, because what you are looking for is the things that might catch you later and foil your whole plan, because you didn't look at it. You didn't look at it. You didn't judge it rightly. You didn't examine the parts and allow it to be where others were able to tell you, well, yeah, this can work, but only if you do this. You see, if you don't have that part of you, then or that part on your team, then what happens is this: you only look at it through a failure. You look at it and you judge it and you say, this is impossible. I can't do it. It can't be done. And so what happens is it stops you. So this is one of the things that can happen with the phlegmatic. The phlegmatic can get there. And in that temperament, what happens with that temperament sometimes is they look at it and they say, you know, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. I can't make a lot of money because I don't have seed money. I don't have money up front. I can't buy a house because I don't have. So what happens is this: then what the mind that comes in, the other mind that comes in, is the growth mind. It is a growth mindset. Dr. Carol Dweck wrote a book on the growth mind, and she she was brilliant in what it is that she's written. But what happened is this: God wrote one before. He wrote one before, letting you know that your mind expands. If you can perceive it, you can have it. He says, whatever it is, I gave you dominion, I gave you a mind, I gave you a brain, I gave you all of these things, and you can do all of these things because of who it is that I've made you. Actually, in the Bible, it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so those of us that have Christ in us, that have him in us, we know that we can accomplish anything that there is. Nothing is impossible. It is limitless. I did many years ago, I did a teaching on no limits. I bumped that thing that says the sky is the limit for what I can do. The sky is the limit for what I can have. I'm looking at that. I'm saying, no, that is too small. That is too small. Say that right now. Say it to yourself. Say it out loud. That is too small of thinking. There are no limits, because I can reach into the realm of the spirit. and bring those things, which is, I can reach into my spirit mind, I can reach into my emotional mind, I can reach into all of these different things. Because why? Because God has already told me that I want you to have the mind of Christ. I want you to have the mind of the Spirit. Why is that? And some of you will say that I'm preachy. It's not about being preachy, but it's about giving you principles and cultures. This is what happened to Samson, to Solomon. This is what happened to David. This is what happened with all the different strategies and things. This is what happened to Moses. This is what has happened all through the Bible. These are the things, whether the people realize it or not. Many people reach into the dark realm and they still walk out with more information, more wisdom, the ability to be able to do that. It's dark wisdom, but they still use it. Why is that? Why does God allow that? Because he says, I allow the just and the unjust to use the principles. See, the principles don't care who you are. They don't care if you're a believer in Christ Jesus. They don't care if you're if you're a sinner. They don't care if you're a Muslim or a Buddha. They don't care if you're a man or a woman. They don't care about whether you're homosexual or lesbian. They don't care. The principles of God do not care. They don't care if you're demonic. They don't care what it is. They work. The principles of God always works, and people have taken the principles, put them into other forms of usage, and use them for the darkness. Why don't you take them and use them for your advantage? You have the abilities in you. Never let anyone tell you that you are limited, because you're not. Your brain can expand. Your brain is constantly growing. Your brain is constantly wanting to take in information. Why do I say wanting to take it in? It will resist. It will resist if you haven't used it in a long time. It's not used to it. It's just like with exercise and anything else. If you don't use it, then what happens is this: you resist it. You resist it until you decide that this is something that I'm going to do, and nothing is going to stop me. And then what happens is this: then you get this other part of you that will look at all of the information. Here it is. You look at all the information and then you manage the decisions. Here it is. Okay, I look at my logical side. I look at my emotional side. I have, or one of the things that I suggest is to have people on your team that have some of all of this. This is the way this one thinks. Oh my gosh, I already know that this person is going to say they don't see how this can work. Okay, we want them on the team. I know that this one's going to say, yeah, let's just go for it. Let's just go for it without having any information. I know that this one is going to say, well, what is the science behind this? How can we prove this? How can we not look stupid? How can we not, how do we know that this is right, that this will work? We go for that one. We look at all the different parts. We look at the one that says, I feel that this is really going to happen. I feel that this is working this time. And so then here it is that we have this other way of thinking. Let's put all these ideas together and let's find out what and how it is that we can assimilate it. And so it's almost like someone that's taking a puzzle and saying, okay, we have the framework, which is the idea. Now, this one says this. Let's take this information. And then you put this information with this person and you say, well, he says this, but yeah, I see that, but then I can see this. And so this is something that happens in your mind, whether you believe it or not, in your brain. It happens in you every day, every moment. So the Bible tells me also something else. It says, take every thought captive and examine it. This is what it is that it says. It takes every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Well, what is the obedience of Christ? I believe that the obedience for Christ for you is so that you can accomplish what you're in this earth to accomplish, so that you can do the purpose, you can do the plans, you can do the job, you can do the business, you can do what it is that you have been called to do. So I take every thought captive to find out, is this Is this thought going to take me towards where I want to go? Or is this thought going to take me back to all the failures that I had in my life? Another thing about this is this, and another thing about this is this. Don't look at your failures as failures. You look at your failures as opportunities. I have made many mistakes. All of these different things are just mistakes. I look at the things I've never failed. I've made a lot of mistakes. Look at it like that. Say that to yourself. I've never failed. I've just made a lot of mistakes. How do I know you've never failed? Because I haven't given up on any of it. There are promises, there are ideas, there are things that I got even when I was a child that I did not. I knew as a child that I was going to be a doctor, but I was 50 years old before that came to pass. All of my kids were grown. I was 50 years old when I walked across that stage with that PhD, with that doctorate in psychology. With that, I was 50. So what that means is this. And then I knew a lady that had finished hers at 80 years old. Here it is. I mean, I'm going to get older anyway. I could have waited until now, until I'm in my 80s in order to do it, but I didn't. I did it in my 50s. And now I'm redesigning, re-seeing my life so that now I see where it is that I'll go in the next 10 years, the next 5 years. And it's so much bigger than anything. What I'm telling you is this: your brain does not stop working until you retire it. When you retire it, it will stop working. And that's when you'll start to decline. And that's when your breath will probably leave your body. So stay active, stay remembering something. Let your thoughts grow. Continue to grow. Continue to grow in how things are. Remember, all of these different ways of thinking, all of these different parts of thinking, they're all in you, but they're also where the dominant parts are in other people that you know. Build your team. Build your team of people. Don't have it so that you are the smartest person in your whole group. Have it so that this one is brilliant here. This one is smart here. This one is bright here. This one has this one, and this has this one, and this has this one. And then learn to work together. It takes humility. It takes excitement. It takes being like a child, knowing that you want more than just you. You want to be able to release what's on the inside of you, because the world is waiting for you to show up and shine. Remember to like this YouTube. Puts the button that says, let me know the next time she's doing one, which I do them on Mondays and Fridays. Also, I'm on YouTube and X and some other places. So check me out, LinkedIn, all of these different places. And remember to join our Optimize Your Brain Challenge. The information is down below. There's a link down below. Just push that link and you'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to help change your life. See you next time. Bye-bye.